Hey guys, so today I'm going to be telling you about how I got my company APV to 643.66. So you can see my revenue was pretty high. It was 327.13, which was higher than the forecasted. My operating income was 41.91, which was also higher than the forecasted, and my net income was 25.15, which is also higher than the forecasted. So revenue by division, my retail was the largest division in the revenue. Operating profits, my licensing was the highest in that division. Total assets was my production. So, and some of my project updates, the dollhouses with miniature dolls. It was successful, but it did have somewhat lower margins, attributable to higher production and marketing costs. So, Young Authors book series. The books were immediate success, and everything exceeded expectations on those, so that was awesome. Here are my projects that I ended up choosing. So you can see is in 2009, I only had 3. I actually did 3 every year up until 2013 when I only did 2. I was just really picky with what I decided to choose. I kind of just wanted to choose like the best ones for sure. So that's why I, you can look at it all in one page right here, but yeah, so I was just kind of picky with that. And most of them turned out to be pretty go over pretty well. So I was pretty happy with that. So cool. Okay, so my cash flow statement. So as you can see, my total, net income right here is pretty good. It's pretty high. Cash flow from financing and cash flow from investments is in the negative, but my cash ending balance is 10.52, so that's pretty good. Cash flow from operations is pretty high as well, so I was pretty happy with that. So right here is all of my financial analysis, current future projections. Project details. So I did go through my projects that I chose, and I did change some of the project discount rates, just to get my internal rate of revenue, or internal rate of return, back up. Some of them were kind of higher risk, like this one's a lower risk, but I did go through and change some of them. I think I changed this one. This one is a pretty high risk. It's Dolls of the World Initiative. But I did change my project discount rate to 4%, so that did get my internal rate of return back up, which did end up helping my overall score in the end, so that was pretty nice. So yeah, so my ending cash balance on this one was pretty good. My total assets were pretty high. Total net assets was 6.43. Working capital 2.65. So everything's in positive, so that's pretty good. Go to another one here. I think I may have changed this one too. Match My Doll clothing line, because it had some medium risk on it. So my internal rate of return is pretty high on that one. And my internal rate of return on this Dollhouse's miniature dolls is pretty high. It's like 46.74, so that was pretty good. The NPV is really high on this one too. The payback period is a little longer than I'd like for it to be, but the numbers on this one, other than that, were pretty high, even though it was a high risk. This one ended up working out pretty well. So all the numbers on this one are pretty high. So I was happy with that one. I ended up changing this one as well. This risk was pretty high. This NPV is awesome on this one, even though this risk was pretty high as well. Payback period was only about 5 years, so that wasn't bad. My numbers are in the negatives in some parts in this one, so I wasn't overly happy with it, but my net assets were pretty good. My ending cash balance was 0, so I'm not overly happy with that one. And that risk was high, which I knew, so. This one's awesome, even though it was kind of it was a risk, but like this is definitely one of the first ones that I chose because it was really interested me. The rate of return was extremely high on this one. Payback period is only 2 years, so that was amazing. Net income was pretty high on this one, so yeah, I was pretty happy with these. So yeah, I did go through some of these and change the project discount rates, just because it does heighten my internal my IRR a little bit, so that it did help a little bit for sure on some of these, which ended up raising my APV. I had like a $4.99, so I ended up raising it to $6.43. So my historical analysis, my net income went up, 12 points right there. Total net assets went up. Total liabilities also went up. So everything looks pretty good there. Production consolidation. These all look pretty good. Retail consolidation. So look pretty good as well. Licensing consolidation. So all of these are in the positives. I feel pretty good about all of these. Project updates. So most of mine, like I said, were pretty successful. Some of these had like somewhat lower margins, but they're still successful. Both revenue and profit levels exceeded expectations on a lot of them. My 2012 year was like my worst year for sure. I think that like the Toddler Music Series did great. The initial revenues were higher, but the virtual dog community and the bookstore, cafe, and writers club initially weren't as great as I would hope that they would have been, but they were still profitable. So none of mine lost any money. Some of them just weren't as profitable as they would as I would have liked them to be, but they all did end up still being profitable, so pretty happy with everything. So yeah, so once again, here's the snapshot of my APV final. So yeah.